You're spending hours every week making decisions that could be automated, sorting customer emails, choosing which invoices to prioritize, deciding when to reorder inventory. What if your business could handle these decisions on its own, so you could focus on strategy instead of daily operations? Most small business owners make the same 50 to 100 operational decisions every single day. Which customer request is urgent? Which expense report needs approval first? Which lead should the sales team call next? Which support ticket requires immediate attention? Each decision seems small. It takes maybe 2 minutes, but multiply that across a full workday, and you're spending 3 to 4 hours just triaging and prioritizing. That's half your productive time gone before you even start working on growth. The real cost isn't just the time. It's what happens when you're tired, distracted, or dealing with too many decisions at once. You miss the urgent customer email buried in your inbox. You approve an invoice that should have been questioned. You send a lead to a junior sales rep when it needed your personal attention. These aren't dramatic failures. They're small mistakes that add up. A delayed response loses a customer. An overlooked invoice creates a cash flow problem. A misrouted lead means lost revenue. Your business runs on these operational decisions, and when they are inconsistent, everything suffers. Here's what AI automation actually does. It takes the decision rules you already use and applies them consistently, every single time. Think about how you currently decide which customer emails need immediate attention. You probably look for certain words like urgent or problem. You check if it's from a key account. You see if they've contacted you multiple times recently. You notice if their last purchase was recent. You're already following a decision process. You just have to repeat it manually for every email. AI automation takes that same process and runs it automatically. It reads incoming emails, checks them against your criteria, and routes them to the right person with the right priority level. This isn't artificial intelligence making creative judgments. It's automation applying your business rules at scale. The difference is that it happens in seconds instead of minutes, and it happens the same way every time, instead of varying based on how busy or distracted you are. Let me show you how this works with a practical example. Customer support email routing. A consulting firm was receiving about 80 client emails per day. The owner was reading every email first thing in the morning to decide which ones needed immediate attention, which could wait, and which could be handled by her team. This was taking 90 minutes every morning. More importantly, emails that arrived after she finished her morning review sat unread until the next day, even if they were urgent. She set up an AI system with simple decision rules. If the email contains words like urgent, project delayed, or need help, it gets flagged as high priority. If it's from a client with an active project deadline this week, it's high priority. If it's a general question from a past client, it's medium priority. Everything else is low priority. The system now reads every incoming email within minutes. High priority messages go directly to the owner with a notification. Medium priority goes to the project manager. Low priority goes into a queue for the team to handle during designated email time. The result is that urgent issues get addressed in minutes instead of hours. The owner spends 15 minutes per day reviewing the flagged items instead of 90 minutes reading everything. Her team handles routine questions without needing her involvement. Total time saved is about 6 hours per week. More valuable than the time is the consistency. No urgent email sits unread anymore because it arrived at the wrong time of day. Here's a second example. Invoice approval decisions. A retail business was processing about 200 supplier invoices per month. The owner had to review each one to check for errors, compare it against the purchase order, and decide whether to approve or query it. Common issues included price discrepancies, wrong quantities, duplicate invoices, and charges for items that were never ordered. Finding these problems meant cross-referencing the invoice against purchase orders, delivery receipts, and previous invoices from the same supplier. This took about 3 hours per week, and the error rate was still around 10%. Some invoices got approved when they shouldn't have been. Others got delayed unnecessarily because they needed a second look. The business implemented an AI system that compares each invoice against the relevant purchase order automatically. It checks that the quantity matches what was ordered. It verifies the unit price matches the agreed rate. It looks for duplicate invoice numbers from the same supplier. It confirms that there's a matching delivery receipt. If everything matches, the invoice gets approved automatically and queued for payment. If there's any discrepancy, it gets flagged for manual review with a specific note about what doesn't match. Now the owner reviews only the flagged invoices, which is about 20 per month instead of 200. The time spent on invoice processing dropped from 3 hours per week to 30 minutes. The error rate dropped to near zero because the system catches discrepancies that a human might miss when they are reviewing dozens of invoices in a row. The business saved about 10 hours per month in labor costs. They also avoided several $1,000s in incorrect payments that would have been approved under the old manual process. Let's talk about what these results actually mean for a small business. The time savings are immediate and measurable. Instead of spending 6 hours per week on email triage or 3 hours on invoice review, you're spending a fraction of that time on exception handling. That's 20 to 30 hours per month you can redirect to customer relationships, business development, or strategic planning. The accuracy improvement is often more valuable than the time saved. Human decisions are inconsistent, especially when you're making the same type of decision repeatedly. You're sharper in the morning than at the end of a long day. You're more thorough when you're not stressed. AI systems apply the same criteria the same way every time, which means fewer errors and fewer missed issues. The cost reduction comes from multiple sources. Less time spent on routine decisions means lower labor costs. Fewer errors mean less money lost to mistakes. Faster response times mean better customer retention. More consistent decisions mean smoother operations and less firefighting. Most small businesses implementing decision automation for routine operational tasks see ROI within 60 to 90 days. The upfront time investment is defining your decision criteria clearly, which usually takes a few hours. The ongoing maintenance is minimal because you're automating stable, repetitive decision processes. Here's what you need to understand. AI automation for business decisions isn't about replacing your judgment. It's about freeing you from the 100 small decisions that don't need your judgment, so you can focus on the ones that do. Your business runs on decisions. Some of them require your experience, intuition, and strategic thinking. Those are where you add value. But many of them are routine applications of consistent criteria. Those are where automation adds value. The question isn't whether AI can make better decisions than you. It's whether you want to keep spending hours every week making decisions that could run on autopilot while you focus on growing your business. If this approach to operational efficiency resonates with you, subscribe for more practical automation strategies designed specifically for small business owners. New videos every week on turning repetitive work into automated systems.